Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Paramecia Fancast, a One Piece podcast where we review the latest chapter of One Piece and have a different One Piece related discussion every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And, Snake Man's theme.
I'll edit that in, really
Just
quick.
Edit Snake Man, yeah. Just edit it in right here. We got, overall, really good chapter, but we got the confirmation of a new Gear 4th form.
Yeah, it's something that we'll discuss towards the end of our content, because holy fuck.
Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff that happened I feel like we should get into first. So the chapter starts off, how could I forget? The chapter starts off with confirmation that the Tontadas are going to be at Reverie.
Mind you, this is chapter 894, 1205. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I totally forgot to say that because I was so hype on Snake Man.
I mean, that's fair. It's fucking hype. So keep going.
Yeah, no, we just got confirmation in the cover story. I assume this is going to be the last cover story for the Leo arc. And it's just Leo and the rest of the Tontadas finding out from King Riku that they've been appointed bodyguards for the Reverie. Like, they're going to be the royal escorts for the Reverie. And I think that's super sick.
Counterpoint, the Leo arc keeps going, but the way it keeps going is they show the events of Reverie through the Tontadas' perspective. That would be really cool. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but how sick would that be?
That'd be great. Like, as Reverie's going on, we get, cover stories of what the hell the Tontadas are doing.
Because they don't fucking know what's going on. They don't know politics and shit.
Yeah. They also... somebody might try to enslave them because they're in Mary Joa.
Yeah.
Mary Joa is fucked, dude. Or Mary Joa, however you say it.
So, after the cover story...
We go straight into a flashback. Talking with Rayleigh.
This flashback sets a huge precedent for the rest of the chapter.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, I dig it so much because I miss Rayleigh. It's been so long since we've seen him, and we probably won't see him besides these flashbacks. So
yeah, at least not till way later. And I really enjoy how, again, we touched upon it last week. I really like how when we get these flashbacks of Rayleigh, we kind of get to see the kind of teacher he was to Luffy and what he was actually teaching him. And I thought that was really sick.
Yeah, it's very classic kind of shonen mentorship where it's very hard on him and everything, and there's gags and goofs and stuff. It's really nice to see. Yeah,
but I really enjoyed. There was a line towards the end of the flashback. So there's, I guess the training is over and it's time. Rayleigh finally let Luffy eat, and they're eating in the snow on the branch, or something. They're eating on the floor or something. Anyways, Rayleigh starts talking to Luffy about the progress he's made on his observation haki, and he says he basically tells him you're not able to use it fully, but you're very good at reading the emotions of living things. You're able to sense the emotions out of living things, and that's observation haki, but it's not it's probably not the kind of observation haki anyone had hoped they would achieve, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't want that to sound negative, but when you think of observation haki, you think of Enel or Eneru. He was able to sense everything. He had this third eye basically, and Luffy's affinity for observation haki is being able to sense opponents' emotions or people's emotions.
And it really shows in this chapter how he's using that in combat and everything. That how he's learning to predict and dodge Katakuri's moves. But one thing I really do want to point out is this sense of emotion and everything that they're talking about, that he can observe it via the haki. I feel like this is probably the reason why he could hear the elephant. Oh my god, what's his name?
Oh yeah, it's Zunisha, it's tied to the voice of all things.
Exactly. The reason he could hear Zunisha might be tied to this in some kind of loose way.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. They have drawn before the parallels. I mean, all the time. The parallels between Goldie Roger and Luffy,
Yeah.
like straight down to the hat, the smile, like the way they acted. Like Rayleigh and Crocus, like everybody said that they saw they saw a bit of Roger in Luffy, and I definitely think that this. Cause this is the first time we've ever heard of something like this, and I definitely think that could be tied to like the voice of all things, and even pulling it back from something as grand as the voice of all things. I really liked Rayleigh pointing it out that this is like Haki, because like Luffy's been doing this since the start of the series. Like he's been able to pinpoint people's like he's been able to pinpoint people's like good nature, or like he's been able to pinpoint like somebody and like really nail who they were.
Yeah, he read Blackbeard like really quick.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that it's like we're getting confirmation now, like, oh, like that was, even though it wasn't well trained, that was still observation Haki to some extent.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. This flashback has such a huge value to the series that is something I would have never thought that we would get at any point.
Yeah, I never like, I would not have thought we were gonna get something like this. At least not like right now. So it's really cool. And the flashback beyond that, after he says, there's another line real quick I wanted to bring up. Rayleigh's kind of like, he tells him like, there's legends of some people who can see into the future a bit. He's like, and if you run into somebody, he kind of mirrors everybody's concern, I think, Rayleigh, in this line of dialogue, because he says, with only 2 years of training, there's no like, you're not going to be able to, like, it's going to be hard. Like, you're not going to be able to reach that level, like, immediately. Like, what are you going to do if you run into somebody like that? And Luffy just responds, like, I guess it depends on what kind of people those guys turn out to be like. And it's like, that's such a Luffy answer. I love it.
It really is. And Rayleigh himself is just like, you motherfucker. Huh.
Yeah, like you clever motherfucker.
But it really shows how Luffy is, and it really shows throughout this fight. Fucking Luffy got chunked, and Katakuri wanted an honorable fight. So, like, it really shows that, Luffy can see this in people. He can sense this. If it weren't for Katakuri being the way that Katakuri is, I feel like Luffy might have just flat out stayed out, or
yeah, no, definitely
been more reckless. There's a couple of different options.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think all of this kind of puts into perspective the line, like, better, the line that Mihawk said, like, all the way in the Baratier arc, where he's like,
God,
I think it was in Baratier, where he says, like, Luffy has like this special power that he said, like, giant air quotes, and he says, he's able to make friends with, like, or he's able to draw the best out of everybody, or something along those lines. Like, he's able to make friends with almost anybody, and I think that's like, because he can read people's emotions, and like it all ties back in a strange way that I never thought we would get an explanation for.
Yeah, no, that's a really good way to put it. It's like Luffy's just a very high charisma character that's very good at insight.
Yeah, it's crazy. His D20 charisma checks are like
consistently 20s and above,
through the roof. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after this flashback, it kind of, they ease you back into the fight right after they talk about Luffy being able to read emotions. And you get dialogue from Katakuri, like, oh, like, it looks like that hurt, like, I'm gonna beat everything into you, like, you can tell he's angry. And then you see a glimpse of what Luffy's able to see with his observation Haki, and then the fight just continues from there.
I feel like it's gonna be a moment where, Toei Animation, fucking Bobo-ass animation, up until moments like these where they're like, alright, unleash the beast.
Yeah. Unleash the beast. We've reused the same shot 7 times the last one episode to save up enough budget for this moment. It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be good, and like we said, we'll circle back to the fight as much as we want to keep going on this.
Yeah. The fight is like we'll circle back to it to the end. The next major part that we get involving other characters is with Capone. Mind you, the whole chapter keeps cutting back and forth to different timestamps because, this is Oda's way of trying to be like, all right, guys, like, I am speeding it up. Like, we're going to get to 1 o'clock real fast, which I think is good because a lot of people's concerns were like, they have until 1 o'clock and it's like 12 hours away. And he like sped through it really fast.
Yeah, I'm really glad.
Yeah. I was getting kind of worried.
Dressrosa was 100 chapters, and this is almost 100 as well. If you include Zoe, some people might, some people wouldn't. That's up to debate, I guess.
Yeah, regardless, it was getting kind of long for a lot of people's liking that I saw online. Like, people still like the arc, but there's some, like, the slow arcs really accentuated, like, or the slow chapters really accentuated the parts, like, where people were like, okay, like, come on, hurry up. But we get Capone at 10:10 p.m. and it's just him and Big Mom's chasing them, and they're like at Liqueur Island. Like, they're not there yet, but they can see it. Like, it's well past the horizon. Like, it's there. And then they're just talking about how they're luring Big Mom away, and that, like, Prometheus, because he's so big, because Mama's going crazy, like, he's really sluggish. And then I really like Chiffon immediately, like, she immediately takes over the captain position, basically. She's like, no, we can't go to Liqueur Island. We gotta go to Fluffy Island, 1 island past Liqueur Island. And everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? And her response is like, no, like, if we give her the cake at Liqueur Island and she gets up, like, she'll have enough time to catch up with Nami and the others, so we can't do that. And I thought that was really cute. Like, man, they're in it together. Like, Chiffon is such a good character.
It's really good because, like, again, it's kind of a stereotype of the whole, like, mobster thing where, like, the man is in charge, but it also, like, upholds the still somewhat sexist ideal of behind every good man there's an even better woman.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's really cool to see that, and I give Chiffon so much respect for still being like, no, we have to help them 100% no matter what.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And then we get to see, like, the scariest looking, like, Big Mom has been getting skinnier and scarier looking every single chapter, but I think this one is probably the scariest she's looked. She is, like, almost skeleton-bones. Like
yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares for this nights on end.
Yeah, it is, man, it's fucking wild. Like, she's so, like, disgustingly creepy right now. Like, her tongue is just like Perospero's. Like, ew, she's so creepy. Yeah, directly after that we circle back to the rest of the Straw Hats minus Sanji, because Sanji went with Pudding. But we get to the rest of Straw Hats and Carrot is awake, which is funny.
It's good to see, like, some time has passed.
Yeah, it's good to see that, like, because we're skipping around, it's 10:50 p.m. when we cut to the rest of the Straw Hats, and Carrot's awake now, and Nami, like, all of them are looking on the back of the ship, just looking at Smoothie's ship, and basically they're just, like, all that's happening is that they're yelling directions for Jinbei to turn, and every time Smoothie shoots, like, I don't know what her attack is. It's just, yeah, it's basically it's Ichigo's Getsuga Tensho.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is. But, like, on the next panel, you see Smoothie, like, not the next panel, the next page, you see Smoothie, like, first panel, very convicted, and then this weird, like, downward angle, looking up, like,
yeah.
Smoothie, and then, like, she's fucking giant by some means. It hasn't been explained, but, it has to be related to her fruit power. And if you look at her sword, it's dripping wet.
It's very weird because, okay, so all Jinbei's like, all right, like, I'm counting on you, Nami, like, just tell me your instructions, and Nami's like, all right, I'll do it. And Carrot and Chopper have a cute exchange. Carrot's like, oh, like, I hope Luffy's won, and I hope Sanji, like, I'm so sorry for falling asleep. Chopper doesn't even give a shit that they're about to die from Smoothie. He's like, hey, do Nekomamushi and Inuarashi turn into things like that too?
Fucking not like interrogating her,
Yeah,
but
just,
like
you could see the little sparkle. Like, it's just like with him and Frankie. He's like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I get to, like, can they do that too? But then Brooke says something he says, is she a giantess, that person? And she's definitely not a giant, because Big Mom couldn't get the giants, like, she couldn't get the giants to be,
she couldn't
couldn't get the giants to be in alliance with her, like, because they hated her because she, like, murdered their leader. But I do think her being this big, and like you pointed out with the sword dripping, I do think it's her fruit power, because she's able to juice things. Like, remember, she's able to juice things and, like, extract all the juice out of them. So I would assume that the reverse should be possible. Like, she should be able to absorb juices. And I think that's what's going on. She might just, like, have absorbed a shit ton of juice, and she's just offloading it on these, like, relentless, like, sword waves.
It's absolutely buck wild. Like, seeing what the Big Mom pirates are capable of is fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's, they're finally getting to see Smoothie in action is really cool. And I will say, as much as I hoped for it, you were right, because the next panel we get to, or the next thing we skip to, is 11:08 p.m. and it's Pudding and Sanji, and they're going to Cacao Island to pick up Luffy. And as much as I wanted Sanji to fight Smoothie, I think we're gonna end up getting Sanji fighting. I think Sanji is gonna fight, like, Oven, but or if he fights Snack, the former commander, because we know he's still powerful. He just got bodied by a Rouge.
Yeah, that's another option.
But I do think this is cool, because, like we said before, I'm still holding on to it that Germa is gonna show up at Cacao Island. So I think we're gonna get, like, a Sanji Germa interaction along. Like, I think all of them might fight as a unit against all the people that are on Cacao Island right now.
That would be so good, man. And, like, Dark Horse, I know 100% it's not gonna happen. Crack theory of the week. They
Calling it out.
Yeah, calling it out. Sanji and Pudding get to Cacao Island, and they're about to start fighting Oven, and then Germa shows up, and they're like, we'll fight with you, Sanji, like, blah blah. There's, like, interactions between, like, them being like, oh, like, you hate us, we hate you, etc. And then, like, oh, by the way, you know these, like, enhanced pieces of technology we have? We secretly had one for you.
Bruh, no, hold up. Because if Sanji gets some Germa tech upgrade out of, like, if he comes out of this arc, that's his power up. He gets a Germa tech upgrade. That's wild. That's gonna be so sick.
And, like I said, it's not gonna happen.
Oh, but if it does, Franz.
You know, my ass really loves these, like, stupid ass shonen kind of things, so secretly deep down, I want it.
I want it so badly. You've talked me into it. I want it now. God, that would be so sick.
Crack theory demoted. It's now an actual theory.
Yeah, this is our actual theory.
Oh, God. Yeah, so anyways, the next portion of the story hits 11:36 p.m. and here they are at Cacao Island. Still back on the whole thing of, like, did you break all the mirrors, etc. And then here they're the Charlotte family sons 36 through 40, Charlotte family daughters 30 through 34, total 10 children. Is buck wild to me.
Couplets, I think the other translation wrote, like, 10 children, like, implying they were all born at, like, the same time, which is, like, fucking wild to me.
Yup, she just, like, despite the fact that they're all very different races, she shat them out, like, all at the same time.
Big Mom is in canon the strongest mom, like, the strongest anime mom in existence right now.
I mean,
10 fucking
basically,
kids.
yeah.
That's
all at the same
God
time.
damn.
How crazy, man! Now,
That's a big mom.
I quit.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. Yeah, we get to on Cacao Island. We get so many children brought up in this 2-page spread that that's a complaint I've heard over and over, that like they keep bringing you and me have talked about it before. A complaint we've heard over and over online is people saying like, oh, they're introducing Charlotte family members way too late, like in the arc, like they're giving their own Odo boxes for like these people that we're never gonna see again. And it just makes total sense to me. It's like, dude, she just shit out 10 kids here alone. Like, she has hundreds of kids from like every race. Like, to expect, like, to think that you're not going to constantly be seeing new children is kind of crazy to me. But we get to see so many new children, like, rapid fire presented in this arc, or in this chapter, excuse me.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool.
And like, on top of that, it's not like they have any like big scheme importance.
It's
like
not like their
Katakuri,
characters.
like for fucking real. Here, their Charlotte family 32nd son Brownie is sitting here like taking a fucking nap. Is he important? No, he's probably a jobber.
Yeah, we got a samurai guy
like
called Raisin, the 33rd son, and he says like one thing. he's like,
yeah,
man, it sucks that the slugs are gone.
and then the son behind him has no fucking line at all. I don't even know if the son behind him is the tiny dude or the big dude.
I have
with
no
staff.
idea which one it is, but I love it.
Like it's not that important, and like, you know, you could technically like sit down and like fucking Adobe Illustrator some family tree of like, but that's so much, because like, what would you get out of that other than the fact that like, I guess you could like chronologically like place all the children?
I guess so, yeah. But even
like,
still, it's like,
we
so
don't
many.
Yeah, we don't even know the fathers. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
The gag of the arc is that her family's like, the point is that her family's so big that everybody is just related to her somehow, which is like the whole point.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit. But yeah, no, like, I feel like if this really is a gag, it would translate a lot better in the anime, where like it'll literally like, you'll have no time to actually read the Oda box.
Yeah.
In the anime, and it just like switches like rapid fire, just like line, and that's all the time you have to read the fucking Oda box.
I will say that we mentioned it earlier, but like, the most important part of this 2-page spread to me, or the part that I was like, ooh, hold up, was we actually get to see like former Sweet Commander Snack and his bounty of 600 million berries. Last week, like, the only thing we had ever heard of Snack, we'd never seen him up until this point. The only thing we heard was that Arouge came in and bodied him. Like, that's the entirety of what we got, and everybody was like, Arouge? Like, Arouge, like, Mad D Monk? Arouge bodied, like, a Sweet Commander? Like, Arouge was supposed to be this, like, we know nothing about him. Everybody thought he was a jobber, but apparently he solos Sweet Commanders. But I think it's really cool that we get to see him again, because I hope he plays a bigger role in like what's going to happen on Cacao Island. And like I said before, I think if anybody's gonna fight, like, I mean, we obviously we don't know the extent of the damage that Snack took from Arouge. We know that he was like knocked out of commission and demoted, but we don't know his state now. We just get like one line from him where he's like cursing the worst generation.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. See, like, this is an important Oda box because it gives the bounty, and it like says like, wink wink former, please remember who he is.
Yeah, it's making a point to make him very like, hey, he's gonna be important. He's a former Sweet Commander and he's back. I do hope that Sanji gets to fight. Sanji's gonna fight one of these guys. I don't know who. Maybe he'll take on a lot of them. But I do hope in the end he does best Snack, because I feel like that's like a thing everybody kind of wants. I want Sanji to get some kind of power feat. And even if he bodies like even if he body snack after Rouge bodied him, that's still like, okay, like he still beat a Sweet Commander, like, or former Sweet Commander. I don't know. I feel like even if he does beat Snack, people might try to job on Sanji, but regardless, I hope he kicks some ass. I'll drop it there.
I've got a great crack theory. Crack theory. I hope I don't forget this, but let's keep going.
Okay, I mean, this is pretty much the end of the chapter. The entire chapter, it intercuts between all the times, and then after every scene we get more and more shots of Luffy and Katakuri fighting. So the whole time it's just been Luffy getting his face kicked in, Luffy headbutting the shit out of Katakuri, like just we get constant scenes of them just going back and forth.
Yeah, they're hammering each other real fucking hard. They're exchanging blows and everything. There's a bunch of close calls, and like it's a really like well laid out fight.
Yeah.
And so God,
the final timestamp we get 12:05, which is the chapter that's named after. 1 hour left until the rendezvous, and Katakuri's just yelling at Luffy. He's like, like, is this the end? Like, what's the matter? Get up. And then as Luffy gets up, Katakuri's like happy, like, yeah, like rise to the challenge, like let's go, like this, come on,
you, me, and Dupree, let's go.
And Luffy, oh man, the exchange they have is just great. So Luffy says, like, I'm going to end this, and he says, if after this you still ... and it kind of trails off, and then Katakuri answers him immediately, like, you've already given your answer. And I feel like that was sort of like, I feel like they both know that this is the last leg of the fight. And yeah. I feel like that line was just supposed to tell Katakuri, like, if you, like, after, like, basically after this, if you're still standing, like, you're the better one. And Katakuri's like, you've already given your answer because you're already standing up. Like, like you've already given your own answer. And then we get, like, a mirror to Dressrosa. We get end of the chapter, Gear 4th, Snake Man.
I don't even want to talk about what Snake Man could possibly entail.
There's
I'm just so excited.
I don't know what it could look like. The only idea I had was maybe his limbs are, like, elongated in some way, like a snake, or maybe his body is long. I don't know. All I know is that the Haki, like, around his eye, the eye shadow around his eye is definitely, it's like a snake's. It reminded me so much of what's his face, like, Orochimaru, Mitsuki, all of them, when they go into, like, their snake mode, they have that same eyeshadow, like the little pointed at each end.
So we're finally getting the crossover.
Yeah, this is it. Luffy learned the snake sage mode.
We're gonna go back in time to, like, a point where, you know how, like, Rayleigh got off the island the, like, last year or some shit, like, someone got back on the island, and it was Orochimaru, and Orochimaru took over Rayleigh's training, crack theory of the week.
Oh my god, yeah. The only thing I hope about Snake Man, I really want, when it said Snake Man, I got really excited because, one, new Gear 4th form, but two, who else but my favorite waifu in this series has a snake? Like, fucking the entire Amazon Lily tribe is based off snakes. I want to believe so badly that Luffy, like, got inspiration for Snake Man from the Kuja pirates, and that would be the sickest shit I've ever fucking seen. That would be the best.
I didn't even think about that
because they were there. They all, like, the Kuja pirates dropped him off on the island with Rayleigh. Granted, he didn't see anybody throughout his time on the island, like, other than Rayleigh, and then Rayleigh left, like, a year in or something like that, or like half a year in,
some shit like that.
So he was just on that island alone. But I would like to think that he based this technique off of anything he learned from Boa Hancock and any of the Kuja pirates, which, God, that'd be so fucking sick.
Good point. Oh my god. So now I want to talk about the fight. And the fight had very little dialogue, but there was a lot of things indicated in the fight. One example is at some point, Katakuri makes the switch between his observation haki to block Mochi again. And when I was reading that, I felt that that's the moment, like, he lost. Like, that's it. Like, he should have kept up the whole future sight and everything. Like, he's fucked. But, you know, it's not as easy as that. And then, oh my god, the grilled mochi is such a fucking display.
The grilled mochi.
Like,
can we talk about that?
Like, I just realized now exactly what was going on. Like, Katakuri kind of, like, gear second, like, inflates part of his arm to, like, the elbow point. It starts, like, inflating, and it fucking pops. It just fucking pops.
Yeah, he literally, like, Sentinel rocket punches Luffy. Rocket punch.
I mean, to be honest, it's one of my favorite moves,
Yeah.
so good on Katakuri. Holy shit. It's so good.
It's so sick. And I like the kind of... I mean, again, like we've been saying, they are both... They're the mirror match to each other. They're both so similar in their powers. And I feel like this is Katakuri's Red Hawk.
Yeah,
Luffy's
100%.
Red Hawk, he could... they don't explain it, I guess. I don't know. You can just, like, ignite his hand with friction, I assume. And it's a Haki on fire, and he just can, blast you. And I feel like this is the same exact move, but just the Mochi version from Katakuri. And I think it's so sick. Like, and he sends Luffy flying with it. Like, Luffy gets hit in the gut
Luffy
with
died.
it, and it sends him fly. He goes crashing through, like, 2 walls.
Man, I love that shit. And they keep fucking going. Like, Luffy's getting, like, kind of pummeled, and he's getting really close to hitting Katakuri a couple of times and shit. But, like, it's fucking intense. He's not letting up, and Katakuri's kind of just like, fuck.
Yeah, definitely. I like you said, the moment where he kind of shifts, because he uses block mochi to use the... Like, he combines block mochi with the grilled mochi. Like, he just shoots, like, this bullet of armament haki. And as he's regrowing his arm, that's when Luffy comes out for the attack, and Luffy lands a hit on him.
It was really fucking solid.
And we get a couple other intercuts. Like, we get one of Luffy just getting... A lot of the other intercuts are Luffy just getting fucking bodied. Like, Luffy gets straight left hook to the mouth in one of them, and then in the next one he's getting, like, curb stomped by Katakuri. Like, curb stomped with spurred boots, might I add.
Yeah, like, fucking brutal of Katakuri. But it all culminates in the 1205 moment.
Yeah.
Where, like, you had already said, they already know what the other's gonna say. They're already, like, looking into the future in this conversation. It's fucking wild. But, like, Katakuri's face when he says, "You've already given your answer," and he's like, he's confused, absolutely confused. There's, like, question marks there, in like, katakana is like, huh? Like, he knows that Gear 4th, the Snake Man's coming.
The Snake Man.
But
the Snake Man cometh.
But he, like us, the readers, has no fucking idea what's gonna go on.
Yeah, we have zero idea. And oh man, it was so good. Like you said, like, I the way they kind of kept intercutting in and out of the fight, I assume that this dialogue is kind of like, because it is kind of, I was confused when I read it at first, because I was like, am I missing something? But it makes sense that as they've been fighting, I assume they've been talking back and forth, like, maybe not really calmly, but they've been conversing as they've been fighting. And I think like you said, it all culminates in this moment when Luffy just tells him, like, if after this you still, and then Katakuri just, like, the entire last page, his face is just calm because he's like, you've already given your answer. And then Luffy says, this is it. And then Katakuri just calmly says, yeah. And then the final image of Snake Man sharing that panel is on the right-hand side, Katakuri, and he doesn't look angry or anything. He's literally just stoic. Like, he already he knows this is it.
Yeah, and it's kind of confusing. Not confusing, but it's kind of, like, interesting as a reader to see, is he sad about this? Has he accepted defeat? Has he, like, changed as a person? Is this contemplative? Is this introspective? Like, what's going on in his mind? Tell me.
Yeah, it's so confusing. But I mean,
I love it though.
I love it, and we're not on break next week, so I mean, if Oda,
yes,
I know Oda won't cut away from it because he can't. People will riot in Japan.
Legally,
he can't legally cut away from it.
It's in the Japanese constitution, if you didn't know.
Yeah, if you didn't know about the Japanese constitution, there's a section just for Oda, and it's like, if you do some hype-ass shit and then cut away, people are going to be pissed.
No legal ramifications, just people's going to be
also,
pissed.
You might get fined, but it's like, might is in italics and quotations, so it's like, you might get fined.
Oh, man. The only thing I want to, like, bring up, it's kind of, like, tangentially related to the chapter, is, Katakuri's colors finally got, like, released and shit.
Yeah, because he finally appeared in the anime, right?
Yeah. On their official Twitter, his character sheet came out, and it's really good.
Yeah, he's a redhead, right? I assume.
His hair's fucking purple, man. Like, give me 1 second. Let me show you.
In the opening, for the Luffy versus Sanji fight in the opening, Hope, I think it was called, they showed Katakuri in the opening, and it looked like his hair was kind of like reddish or pinkish. But if you can find the character sheet, that'd be sick. Hell yeah,
he's got this, like, very good punk aesthetic going on, very emo child, like, low key.
I love it.
It's so good. I really, really dig this. His tattoos are like hot pink. His hair's kind of like a darker hot pink and everything.
It's so good.
I kind of expected Mogura to be golden, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
And seeing it how it is now, it's not bad. Just like, huh.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. I do want to say, I think, if I remember correctly, his voice actor is Joseph Joestar's voice actor, I believe. Yeah.
Oh my god.
My god.
Jesus Christ.
We need a
so
we need
wild.
a panel next week when Luffy beats him with Snake Man. Just, oh my god.
Or the one where he's yelling this chapter, where, like, is this the end? Just, oh my god!
I'm gonna Photoshop Joseph Joestar's hands onto the side of Katakuri's face.
I mean, he's got the glove. He's got the, like, one glove, right? Or is it
I think
both
he's got
hands?
both hands.
It's both hands, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll edit that in post.
We'll do it in post. Yeah, that's sick. He I don't know. Katakuri is definitely a character that I'm so glad we got more of.
Yeah.
He's such a cool character. He's such a cool, like, again, because of the characterization they've given him as of recent, I don't even, like, he's not even really a villain, like, he's like a rival or like an antagonist or anti-hero, I guess, at worst. Like,
yeah, he really fits into the foil a lot.
Yeah.
He fits into it well, and on top of that, he's been shown to be just a product of his environment.
Yeah, he's such a cool character, and now that I know he has hot pink tattoos, that's sick. I'm gonna get hot pink tattoos.
That's a power play.
That is like, So I thought him going to the gym and getting buff as fuck so he could beat up his siblings, I thought that was a power play. The actual power play. The power play. The EX power play, if you will, was getting hot pink tattoos.
It's so fucking good. I love it.
God, that's wild. Yeah, oh man, next chapter. I don't even. Do you think the fight's gonna end next chapter? I think it has. I think it has maybe like 1 or 2 chapters left, but I think it's gone on for so long that like I feel like Snake Man.
It's gotta end.
Yeah,
soon.
because Doflamingo versus Luffy, like Gear 4th, Doflamingo wasn't anywhere near getting defeated at that point. And like we could tell, so we knew that Gear 4th was gonna last us a long time when he brought it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I
mean, it took him 2
yeah,
tries.
yeah. But I attribute this one to like Tank Man's introduction, because when we saw Tank Man, that was Luffy saying, "All right, like it's like here's a new Gear 4th form that I'm going to end this with. Like this fight is done when I use this." And I feel like this is kind of the same thing. Like he's using Snake Man, and he's like, "All right, like you know." After I go into this, like you're pretty much done.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, it's gonna be so sick.
Sign me off, John. Sign me off.
All right. Yeah. So that was chapter 894. We will be back next week, chapter 895. Thank God we're not on break, so prepare for Snake Man hype next week. And yeah, that'll do it for us. Here is our crack theory of the week.
As we all know, everyone this chapter has gotten a power feat. Luffy's getting Snake Man and Tank Man. Sanji hasn't gotten anything. So what he's gonna get this arc is his power feat. He's just gonna be able to punch.
And that's gonna do it for us this week.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Have a great week, everybody.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
See y'all next week.